Okay, RGB values and adjusting them in Video Barbershop. The control for doing that is this second button with the three little circles here representing the red, green, blue symbolically. If you have a video that in which the color is a bit off, this video is a board game of life commercial from the 80s. It was captured, but as you can see, it's fairly red. As I'm going through here, it's kind of washed out and generally a little redder than I would like. In this setting, in this control, you can see there's a RGB histogram here, which shows a breakdown of the red, green, blue channels in the video. This might be a little easier to see. The color overlay here, the red, green, and blues are overlaid and superimposed. And so, if you generally have white, you get all three of those overlaid, and it's a nice mix. But you can see the blues are in the lower, darker channel or range, and the reds are mostly in the higher range. So, gonna get a lot, rosier hue to the video, with blue not being highlighted nearly as much. And so with these controls, as you can see, it's very simple to adjust. I have a pretty extreme range here for being able to do some fun video art, stylized kind of stuff if you're into that. However, for most people, I imagine you're just going to stick to a little more subtle change in here. But you can drop the red down. Let's just kind of drop it down. Let's actually find a good yeah, there we go, the bridge. I think if we look at it originally, it's got some pink tones, some underlying general redness. It's actually not too bad on this frame, though the green and red are a little high, blue's pretty low. We could see if amping up the blue kind of helped bring up the white a little bit. I mean, obviously in this one it's pretty extreme, so let's just kind of generally drop the red down a little bit, and you can see it subtly changes it into something a little more pleasant. The green. I mean, this is a really old VHS tape. I specifically used this because it was pretty degraded there. You can see a lot of signal noise. As VHS tapes age, they're degrading, so it's important to convert them when you can. And then something like Video Barbershop, you can come in and kind of clean up. It definitely looks a lot better than what it originally used to be, and that kind of red tones, you can see the difference between the two. So when you make your change, this top level buttons, remember this is for all clips from this video. So for every clip that you extract out, say these are multiple commercials from this one tape, they're all going to have the same changes here that you've designated. But let's say this clip specifically was something that was a moment in the video in which it's a little too extreme and you didn't quite like it. You can go in here and override the RGB values, and let's just kind of revert back to what they originally were. That's what this button is for, being able to revert it. And so you've got now what you saw originally before you made your changes. And for certain clips, what I've done is I've also created this button here, a preset. What it does is it drops everything down to 0 valued out, and converts everything just solid black. Your entire video is going to be black. Now, where this comes in handy is, let's say in your clip, let's just pretend there was a flash. I'm going to take this transition and just kind of, like, let's pretend this transition was actually a flash. It was a glitch in your VCR from being a little dirty, and you've have this like white flash going on for a couple frames. What you can do is you can capture the clips for, like, say just a couple frames, and we'll just clip that, go to this, and here's your flash, let's say. You can override just that flash, drop it down, blacken it out so that you don't have that really obnoxious white flash in your video. So you can kind of calm some things down that way very easily. Now, if you've watched my other video where I talk about what punch out does, say you track down that flash exactly and it's right there. Normally when you take a clip, it just adds it to your list and it's overlaid, and so you have your first clip and then you have that new clip. That's not really what you want to do in this case. For eliminating the flash, you find that exact moment you want and then you punch it out, and it'll break that clip. It'll punch your little working clip out of the original clip behind it into now 3 separate clips. And so just that frame that flashes, you can override it, and if I override it correctly, and then you can black out just that one clip, or that one section of that clip very briefly between a much more obnoxious flash there. So that's the basics for updating the RGB values. You can do it across the entire video, or you can come in and customize the specific clip and revert it to the original, or just black it out and clean up some obnoxious clips. So there you go. Reminder that the beta is available for free on Apple's test flight. I'd love it if you would download it and give it a try. Play around with these controls. Let me know what your editing pipeline is and how I could enhance these features for your specific needs and make this a tool that you use for your videos. Thank you.